Yo, what's going on, guys? So in this video, Diddy has written the judge a letter ahead of his sentencing tomorrow. So I'm gonna read that letter. I'm gonna wait a little bit until we get some people in the building, and I'm gonna read that letter in its entirety. For me, it's a heartfelt letter. I've already read it. Um, it hit on a lot of key points in this letter. He is remorseful for the events that happened, especially to Cassie and Jane. He's very remorseful for that. He's talked about the things that he experienced while incarcerated. He's talked about the program that he started to help fellow inmates, and he's proud of that. He also said that the old him has passed away. The old him has passed away, and the new him is here. I really like this letter. You said, let that man out of jail, and Cassie and you said, and Cassie and no angel, and they should lock her up. But I'm going to read the letter in its entirety, but I'm just touching on some of the key points of this letter. He talked about the old him has passed away in jail and rebirthed the new him. He's also has been clean for the first time in 25 years. He talked about, um, yes, he's talked about, he is scared. He said the reason why he is scared because, he has been away from his mother. He needs to take care of his mother. This is the time that she needs him, and he can't properly be there for her or his kids. Um, I felt this letter. And so, some people seem to think that the letter is fake. I felt it. I felt the letter. And like I said, I'm going to read this letter because this is one of the best responses I've ever. This is one, like, I've been following trials for a very long time. This is the best letter pinned to from an inmate, from a defendant to a judge I have ever seen. This is a really good letter. And that's just my opinion on it. It's a really, really good letter, and he touched on everything. Okay. So I'm gonna read it, and then we're gonna, talk about what you think about the letter. All right. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and read this letter. What's up, Scoop? Hey, Carla Martin. April, how you doing? Max, how you doing? Now, I'm gonna stop every now and then, but okay, here's a letter. Dear Judge Submaranian, I hope this letter finds you well and in good health and spirits. Thank you for the opportunity to express my thoughts to you. First and foremost, I want to apologize and say how sincerely sorry I am for all the hurt and pain that I have caused others by my conduct. I take full responsibility and accountability for my past wrongs. This has been the hardest 2 years of my life, and I have no one to blame for my current reality and situation but myself. In my life, I have made many mistakes, but I am no longer running from them. I am so sorry for the hurt that I caused, but I understand that the mere words "I'm sorry" would never be good enough, as these words alone cannot erase the pain from the past. Now, guys, this is a good letter. Whether he wrote this letter or not, this letter is great. This is a good letter here. Over the past 13 months, I have had to look in the mirror like never before. My pain became my teacher. My sadness was my motivator. I have to admit, my downfall was rooted in my selfishness. The scene and images of me assaulting Cassie play over and over in my head daily. I literally lost my mind. I was dead wrong for putting my hands on the woman that I love. I'm sorry for that and always will be. My domestic violence will always be a heavy burden that I will have forever carry. The remorse, the sorrow, the regret, the disappointment, the shame. I honestly feel sorry for something that I couldn't forgive myself for. If they put their hands on one of my daughters, this is why it is so hard for me to forgive myself. It is like a deep wound that leaves an ugly scar. Your Honor, I thought I was providing for Jane concerning her, excuse me, I thought I was providing for Jane concerning her and her child. But after hearing her testimony, I realized that I hurt her. For this, I am deeply sorry. I lost my way. I lost my way. I got lost in the journey, lost in drugs and excess. My downfall was rooted in my selfishness. I have been humbled and broken to my core. Jail is designed to break you mentally, physically, and spiritually. Over the past year, there have been so many times that I wanted to give up. There have been some days that I thought some days that I thought I would be better off dead. Check out what he says here. The old me died in jail, and the new version of me was reborn. Prison will change you or kill you. I chose to live. Excuse me, I choose to live. Every day since my incarceration, as difficult as my circumstances currently are, I have made the best of my time by reading books, writing, working out, or in therapy, obtaining the tools and knowledge to deal with my past, drug abuse, and anger issues. I have been putting in the work and working diligently to become the best version of myself to ensure that I never make the same mistakes again. I realized that, hold on one second. I realized that I am in a situation where no amount of money, power, or fame can save me. Only God can save me. My grandmother used to teach me that God makes no mistakes and that everything he does is for your good. I believe that a bad situation can be used for good. Although this situation has been the hardest and darkest time in my life, good things have come out of my incarceration. For starters, I am now sober for the first time in 25 years. I have been trying my best to deal with my drug abuse and anger issues and take accountability as well as positive steps towards healing. One of the most beautiful things I have experienced is being asked by my fellow inmates to teach and mentor them. They wanted to learn what I did to become successful businessman. I was inspired by their hunger and desire to learn information in order to not only set goals, but achieve any goal dream that their hearts desire. I started teaching a 6-week program called Free Game, title given by my fellow inmates, which I was able to have approved by and sanctioned by the Bureau of Prisons. I don't just teach about my success, I also teach about my mistakes and failures. It has truly been a blessing to do something positive in a negative situation. It has been beautiful to see the newfound hope in my fellow inmates' eyes. The most shocking thing was to see the unity and the peace this class has produced. As you are probably aware, jails and prisons are segregated places. However, in class, we have Black, Spanish, white, Asian all together in one room, learning and working together. We even have a interpreter for the Spanish speaking inmates. The biggest miracle that I have seen with this class is all the gangs such as the Bloods, the Crips, MS-13, the Trinitarios, and 18th Street in one room working together. I am also proud to say that since this class started, there have been no fights in our unit. This class also helped me in my time of need and despair. Being able to do something good for others has also given me needed hope. God bless me with this opportunity to help others, and I will continue to do so. I ask you for mercy today, not only for my sake, but for the sake of my children. God bless me with 7 beautiful children, 3 sons, 4 daughters. Their names are Quincy, Justin, Christian, Chance, Jesse, Delilah, and the newest addition, a 2-year-old daughter, Love. Four of my children lost their mother, Kim Porter, as she tragically passed away in 2018. I am their only parent. I have failed my children as a father. My father was murdered when I was 3 years old, so I know firsthand what it is not to have a father. More than anything, I just want the opportunity to return home and be a father that they need and deserve. God blessed me with the greatest mother in the world. My mother sacrificed her life and dreams to provide for me and my youngest sister, Keisha. She worked 3 jobs to make sure we had a roof over our heads, clothes on our back, and the best education. My mother is now 84 years old, and she recently had brain surgery. Despite her own health challenges, she attended my trial every day. Yes, she did. I have always been her primary caregiver. It breaks my heart that I put myself in this situation for the first time. I am unable to be there for my mother when she needs me the most. As I write you this letter, I am scared to death, scared to spend another second away from my mother and my children. I am no, lo- excuse me, I no longer care about money and fame. There is nothing more important to me than my family. I understand that one factor the court has to consider is deterrence. Deterrence for me and for others to ensure no one follows in my footsteps and makes the same mistakes. For over a year, I have been locked in one room with 25 other incarcerated people sharing the same one room. In this room I share, there are no windows, there is no natural or clean air, there is no sunlight, and we all live in one room. We eat, sleep, use the toilet, take showers, and prepare meals all in one room. The conditions that my actions have placed me in are inhumane. I don't tell you this for pity or sympathy. I'm simply sharing the truths and the truth of my fellow incarcerated people. We have no clean drinking water and we boil our drinking water. We are, excuse me, we all share one washing machine, which is broken. I am surrounded by drugs and live every day with constant threat of being stabbed or losing my life. Again, I am not expecting pity or sympathy, but my time at MDC has changed me forever. Prior to being in jail, I took care of and was present for my family. Being in jail and because of my conduct, I have lost the ability to care for my mother. I lost the ability to effectively raise and support my children. I have missed my 3 daughters' proms and graduation. I have missed taking one of my daughters to college. I have lost the freedom to teach my 2 year old how to speak, dance, play, or be there to console her when she falls down or have a nightmare. I started from nothing and I worked hard to earn everything I've had. But because of my conduct, I have lost all of my businesses. I have lost my career. I've lost my charter schools that I started, and I have destroyed my reputation and stained my reputation for those that work for me. I lost, excuse me, I lost my being present with my family. Between of all my losses and lessons, I can state for the fact that I would never be in a criminal courtroom again. And I do not believe any person would do anything similar from fear or similar punishment. If you give me a chance, I would like the opportunity to share my story with people to prevent at least one person from making a mistake that I've made. I can't change the past, but I can change the future. I know that God put me here to transform me. Since incarceration, I have gone through a spiritual reset. I'm on a journey that will take me, excuse me, I'm on a journey that will take time and hard work. I'm proud to say I'm working harder than I ever worked before. I'm committed to the journey of remaining a drug free, nonviolent, and peaceful person. I thank God that I am stronger, wiser, clean, clear, and sober. God makes no mistakes. I realize that this trial has received a tremendous amount of global press, and your honor may be inclined to make an example out of me. I would ask your honor to make me an example of what a person can do if afforded a second chance. If you allow me to go home to my family, I promise I will not let you down and I will make you proud. Today, I'm humbly, today I humbly ask for another chance to be a father, another chance to be a better son, another chance to be a better leader in my community, and another chance to live a better life. I am writing this not to gain any sympathy or pity. This experience is simply the truth of my existence and has changed my life forever, and I will never commit a crime again. Thank you for your time and consideration, Sean Combs. That was one of the best letters I have ever read to it for an inmate speaking to a judge. I have never read anything like this. This was a really, really good letter that he read to the judge. I've been following trials for a long time, and I have never seen somebody address the judge like this. Now it probably would have hit harder if he had read this letter to the judge himself. But anyway, he submitted this letter, and I read this letter today. I wanted to read this letter because I could read all the letters, right? But I wanted to read this one. I wanted to see if does he show remorse? Is he sorry? He is. He's showing remorse in this letter. Um, he's showing remorse. So so the judge cannot say that he's not showing remorse. He has showed remorse in his letter. And he said he is committed every day to being a better person. And I believe I believe certain people deserve a second chance. I do believe in that. I believe in second chances because any one of us could make a mistake that we want somebody to give us a second chance for. Period. So um so there you go right there. So Diddy, I read this letter. So what do you guys think? Let's see. He hasn't you said he hasn't charged he wasn't charged or convicted for Cassie. Yes, he was. He was charged and convicted on the MannAct on Cassie and Jane. You talking about the serious charges? No. All right. So I see that there's going to be a problem here. So let me change this. The subscribers only. Because yeah, I had to change this to subscribers only because I'm getting spam here. So we just took care of the spam. How about that? We took care of the spam, and here we are now. So the spam is over with. It was a great letter. This is one of the best letters I have. You hear the letter? You hear me? Wasn't it good? Wasn't it good? Let me tell y'all something. This is one of the my mother sat here and listened. This is one of the best letters I have ever heard an inmate write to a judge. And I've been following trials since Aaron Hernandez on this channel. I have never read anything like this. And he wrote this. If he didn't write it, he was right there when the person was writing. And I could tell. I could tell how it was written. I could literally tell how it was written. Especially when he said that my grandmother said, God don't make mistakes. That's an old saying. You could tell his grandmother had some influence in his life. You could tell. And you could tell he has faith. For him to say God don't make mistakes, yeah. Yeah. I'm just gonna say this. For his friends or family or whoever's listening to him, he's in God's hands now. He's in God's hands. He's in God's hands. So I'm telling you guys right now, all his family have to do, they have to sit there and just put him in God's hands. He's in God's hands now. And also he admitted that he was wrong for all this. He could have easily said, "I'm innocent, Judge. I'm innocent of this man act." He didn't say that. He said, I am sorry for what I did." He said, "I am sorry for what I did." Yeah, I could tell he wrote it. I could tell. And He had some idea to perfect it, but I could tell he wrote it. I'm telling you right now. You said doesn't but anyway, yeah, he's in God's hands. That's what his family have to do. They have to just say, you know what? They got to put their hands up and submit his life to God. He's in God's hands now. Not there. He's nothing they can do. It's God will have to intervene in his life. If he truly meant what he wrote, God is getting ready to intervene. If he truly meant it, God is going to intervene and he's going to be okay. And he's going to be okay whatever time he gets. Whatever time he get, he going to be okay. He going to come back a better man. If he truly meant this, that he said that he wants to be a better man, God will intervene in his life. Because trust with all the influence he has, God could use him. He could use him. So we're gonna see. So that's what I wanted to say there. I don't have, like I said, I don't take no sides here. I'm not for or against him. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know him. I only go on by this letter I read here. I felt this letter. And trust me, I'm not the person that get moved by nothing. I don't get moved by nobody. I don't care about celebrity status or anything like that. But when he wrote this letter, I felt it. I felt it. That's why I sat there and read it. I read it twice. And I was looking for some key points in the letter, and he hit every key point. He said he was remorseful. He said he is clean. He's been sober this is the first time he has been sober in the past 25 years, and I believe him. Um, and he's right. His mother has been there every day, despite her health issues and everything. She has been there supporting her son throughout. God will intervene in this one. He's gonna be okay. Well, regardless of what time he get, it's gonna ease his time, and eventually he'll get out. So I just read the letter. For those that just come in, you have to rewind it. I just read the letter that Diddy addressed the judge. He wrote his own letter, and I just want to tell people, I know some people, for whatever reason, like, oh, he don't mean this and that. I just hope you never have a child in this situation that has truly changed himself and is facing a mountain of time behind bars. You will hope that somebody will forgive that person. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about celebrity status. He's a human being. He's a human being, and I felt like the system was against him. Like all of these lawsuits came out of nowhere. And guess what? All of them lawsuits are going away. God is intervening now. I'm just letting you know there's somebody more powerful in this world, and that's God. Okay. And he just learned that. Diddy had to learn that firsthand. He's not powerful. God is. Did you realize that the earth is in the right spot? The moon is in the right spot. The sun is in the right spot for life to exist. So somebody did that. There's somebody more powerful than humans that did that. Whether you want to call that person God, Allah, Yahweh, Jehovah, whatever you want to call that person, it's only one God. There's only one. There's only one. And sometime in our lifetime, we get humble. Life will humble you if you don't acknowledge that there's only one God. Life will humble you. Life will humble you to the point where you have to turn on God. You have to turn to God because that's all you got, because you can't turn to no friends. You can't turn to your friends because they're going to stop talking to you when you at your lowest. Trust me, I've been at my lowest. Friends stopped talking to me. In fact, God showed me they weren't never my friends. That's what God showed me. And life will humble you to the point where you have to turn on God. You have to turn to God. And that's what happened here. This man has had all the money and all the luxuries in his life. But guess what? Just like he said in that letter, the money and them luxuries can't mean him no good. They don't mean him no good no more. I agree with what he said. He said he don't care about the money and fame no more. God has humbled him and brought him to his knees. That's what we saw here. But let me tell you something. Being that he's still alive, God need him for something, because he would have killed himself by now. Okay, he would have been weak, and he would have killed himself, just like Epstein. He would be gone, but he's still here. And I don't care what nobody say. I know what God has done for me. I have been to the lowest point of my life. Everybody has left. Everybody. That's so-called friends. Okay? And they talk about you and everything else. But all you need is God. You don't need no friends. You just need God in your life. And you know all you need to say? God, I need your help. I don't know how you're going to help me, but I need your help. That's all you got to say. All you got to do is be real about it. You don't have to make no fancy ass prayer. You don't have to recite no fancy ass prayer that man wrote in that book. All that stuff that you read, man wrote that. Man wrote that. All you got to do is just sit up there. You don't even have to say it. The feeling, you just have to have the feeling, and God will understand. And I promise you, that's all you need to walk and navigate through this terrain. We are living in a stage called Earth. This is a stage. This is a stage. So that's why I see things differently. I have seen this man being prosecuted, persecuted by people that don't even know him. Don't even know him. And I see people just persecuting him for the clout, making their way back to New York just to get some more clicks. But I must tell them though, God is over all of that. And one thing somebody taught me, when somebody is going through it, be careful not to laugh, because it'll happen to you. Be careful not to laugh, because it will happen to you, man. And life has taught me that. See, I learned off experience. I learned off experience. That's why I know what it's like to people to point their fingers at me when I'm at my lowest. But guess what? You know how powerful you are when you survive some shit on your own? Do you know how powerful you become? When you survive some shit on your own, okay? And you live to my age, and you live to my age, oh man, nothing can stop you. No, you see, let me tell you something. You don't live for material things no more. Material things don't move you no more once God has intervened. You don't care about material things. You only care about the content of somebody's character. That's all you care about it right now. That's all you care about. You're not trying to impress nobody no more. Nothing. That's where Diddy is at now. I know that's where he is because he's in the belly of the beast. I know that's where he is. I could tell by the letter that's where he is. He know he's about to get some time. Let me tell y'all something real quick. He know he about to get some time. He knows it. He knows it. But what's going to carry him through? He got to keep talking to God. That's what's going to carry him through. And let me tell you something. For him helping them inmates, he probably gave some of those inmates some valuable information that's gonna change their life. God using them now. He know now his money and influence cannot save him. You understand that? It cannot save him. And he knows this now. He knows this now. The money and all that. Let me tell you, money is actually it's an illusion. It's an illusion because they could take it away from you. It's just a matter of a click on a keyboard. That's what money is. Money is not backed by gold anymore. It's called the fiat, thanks to Tricky Dick when he was president, Richard Nixon. It's not backed by gold anymore. And if you look at it, it says it's a promissory note. That's what it says. This is legal tender and it's a promissory note backed by the United States Army, the United States military. Meaning that if this country fall, then the money don't mean nothing anymore. As long as we got the might of our military, that's the value of the dollar. And that's a fact. You can go look it up. He knows now that he is not in control of his life. God is. He knows it. He knows it. He knows it. And he's right. There's nothing he can say to take back the hurt that he caused. There's nothing he can say. It's over now. It's over now. Whatever's done is done. It's done. He can't. It's no. He can't say no. I'm sorry's. He can't say none of that. It's not gonna. It's not gonna help. But what's gonna help is he continue to talk to God. Man is not in control. They try to say they control. You know, they give people fancy titles. They give people fancy titles as president, this and that, but nobody knows when they're gonna die. God knows. That's why nobody is powerful than the other. Even the president had got his God coming to God moment when he turned his face just a little bit for that bullet to hit his ear. That was a God moment. God intervened, and he knows it. I don't give a fuck how much money he got. He could be a billionaire, but God intervened because he knew how vulnerable he was standing on that stage and that bullet almost hit his head. Okay? That was God. That let him know, I don't give a damn how powerful you are. I'll take your life just like that. That's what happened to him. He ain't been right since. He has not been right since. He's not. He's been shaken ever since. I know it. That's what God does. He will humble you in front of everybody. He will take all your possessions away. So I don't care what people say. They can say whatever. Oh, he didn't mean in this letter. This ain't you. Listen, I'm telling you right now. Telling you right now. I believe he meant it because he's in the belly of the beast. He's in inhumane circumstances. God has stripped him in front of us. He got stripped right in front of us. Stripped. We have seen this man get down on his hands and knees in front of everybody in court. He had his coming to God moment. Sometimes it happens to these people that think they're more powerful than the program. That's what happens. We don't know. It could happen in this lifetime. It could happen in your next lifetime. But you're going to get humble one way or the other. One way or the other. That's it. And that's what happened right here. That's what happened. He got humbled right in front of us, stripped and everything else. He's been ridiculed by people that he don't even know. He's been mocked. He's been ridiculed. Even his family has been mocked when they came out. His whole family. You will never see me sitting there mocking his family as they get into that van. You'll never see me do it. Because I know God watching. That's why I'll never do it. Some people out here don't have no decency. They don't. But it's okay though. It's okay because that's life. You're gonna run into people that don't have no decency. So this was a hell of a letter, and that's what I gotta say right there. This is a hell of a letter. I have never read a letter like this. I have seen inmates address the judge like this and that. Like I have read different letters to inmates writing to the judge. I have never read none like this. I could tell he wrote it. Tell he wrote it. He has been stripped right in front of us. He's been stripped. And I'm gonna tell you something. Once he get free, he's gonna have a 360 moment. He gonna be more powerful than he was when he got in there. Did y'all know that? Especially if he walk in with the right God, he gonna be more powerful. And guess what? Everything is coming back to him. Because guess what? He's a businessman, right? Did you know? I learned this in business class a long time ago. You know, Elon Musk is now worth $500 billion. Did you know that? He's the richest man on the planet. Actually, he's not the richest man in history. It was Mansa Musa. He's actually still the richest ever. He gave out so much gold, he bankrupt Egypt. That's how much gold he gave. Did you know that the gold that Mansa Musa was giving out as he traveled the planet? Did you know that some people, some countries still have that gold that he gave out? We have some of it. It's in our reserves. Egypt has some of it. Different other countries have some of that gold. I mean, the same gold that he literally gave out when he was alive is still around. So he's still considered, in my mind, he's still the richest ever. But they said wealthy people, like business people, you can break them, right? You could take all their money away, but eventually it'll come back to them because they have the know-how. You can't take it away from them. So you could take all the money away from Diddy right now, he'll come back on top somehow because he's already been there. You can't take that wisdom away from him. Can't take it away from him. But sometimes God uses us to work on certain people. It just so happened that he's living in this moment in time that God decided he wanted to humble him. He did. There's an entity. You know, you could feel that entity. You can't see that entity. You can't smell that entity. You can't feel that entity, right? But you know it's there. You could feel it. Your soul could feel it. So you know the entity is there. Especially when you start talking about that entity, your soul could really start feeling. You feel like somebody in the room is watching you. It's almost like that entity shows up and you feel like it's watching you. That's God. And we all share different frequencies of that entity. We all share the same consciousness, but we're on different frequencies. But when you start talking about it, you could hear it. You could feel it, actually. You could feel it. So he got humbled right in front of us, man. He sure did. But I'm going to tell you something, though. If that judge sentenced him to more than 11 years, people are not going to feel good about it. They're not going to feel good about it. Especially if he meant what he said in that letter. You're not going to feel good about it. But like he said, he brought himself to this situation. Nobody did. He the one did this. So he has to deal with it. So that's what's happening right now. That's what's going to happen in the morning. So he has to deal with his reality tomorrow. And he said it. Nobody put him in this situation but himself. He acknowledged that. And the fact that he acknowledged that he has sympathy, yeah, the judge had to take that in consideration because the judge cannot say that he's not remorseful. If he do say that, that's going to be a problem. He is remorseful in that letter. But it's up to the judge. It's up to the judge at this point. Well, we can't say that. We don't know what's in the judge's brain. We don't know if the judge is acting off emotions. The judge has to do his job. This is not hard. This is not easy for a judge to sentence somebody to prison time, but he has to do his job. At the end of the day, it's business. He has to do his job. He has done a great job so far, I must say. This judge was really on point from beginning to end because I sat there in court and watched him. Nothing got past him. Super sharp. He's sharp. One of the sharpest judges I have ever seen. He is very sharp. Like you know how like some judge you like the things are going on in court, they kind of drift off. He was right there for everything. So we'll see. But other than that, that's the letter. CNN posted the letter. You can go check it out on CNN. As a matter of fact, I'll give you the link. That's the link right there to the letter. If you haven't got a chance to read the letter yet, or you could go on X account and people are posting a letter on there. Also, there was other people that wrote letters in for Diddy, and I read some of them letters. Yeah, this case did not disappoint, I must say. I remember when I was going to go when I traveled up here to go to the case, I didn't know what to expect, but I do know I wasn't disappointed. This is my first federal trial that I witnessed in person. I learned a lot, just watching the everyday business going on in the courtroom. Um, so yeah, I learned that. You can find the letters on X account. Inner City Press is posting them. You can find them. Yeah, you can find them there. The Diddy docket. If you just type in the Diddy docket on X account, posting them there, or you could just Google it, Diddy letters, and you'll see it. There's a lot of letters coming in. Man, you said 99% of the people in jail said they have changed. What about the other 1%? 1% is like the hell with it. I haven't changed. You said Diddy should have added that he didn't invent group sex. It was around. Okay, so you really trying to get him Bunyan, you really trying to get him laid out. If he had said that, that would have negated everything he said. What you said right there would have negated everything he wrote in that letter. I didn't invent this. This is the Neanderthals. If he had said, if he had said that, I promise you, the judge would have just stopped reading it. Yeah, the judge will read all the letters. He reading them as they come in. I'm assuming. That's a lot of letters. But they have technology now to where the computer could read the letters for you. He don't have to sit. He can just listen to it. You said, well, Diddy needs to be at home, but not what you said, Bunyan. He know he should not have put that in the letter. It was around from Neanderthal days. No, no, that'll get him an extra 5 years. Saying something like that, dang, that'll that'll get him an extra 5 years. Come on, man. That means he ain't taking no accountability. All that's just been negated. Just X out everything he just said. Oh, by the way, I didn't invent this. Neanderthals did. So what are you guys thinking tomorrow? I kind of take things how they go, I don't really I just show up, and I just take it all in as it happens. Just I just take it all in as it happens. Yeah, I just take it all in as it happens. What's up, Ryan? I just take it in as it happens. I don't know what to expect. I'm just gonna be right there in the mix. Um, but a lot of people, when you see celebrities and stuff, and you see they got all this money, we tend to think they're not human. Like they don't feel the things that we feel. Yes, they do. They're human. It's just that more people know them and they got money. That's it. You said, do you think he's going to be on PC if convicted? He's not going to be on PC. R. Kelly not on PC. He might be. It could be a possible. I don't know. It depends on how much time the judge give him because he could do a lot of that time at MDC. awaiting appeal or if that's approved. Only reason why I say that because one of the guys that's housed in there with him, his lawyer Alexandra Shapiro, is also representing Sam Bankman-Fried, and he's in MDC awaiting his appeal. Hey, Lashane. You said he's definitely not sleeping on Wink tonight for real. I couldn't. Yeah, I know. I couldn't either. But he has a early start in the morning. Like he gets up around, I think they said a 3 in the morning. Get prepared to move over to him to the courthouse. You said you think it's going to be between 5 to 10 years. That's a lot. Whew. I think yeah, that's a lot. And if he sentenced him consecutive time, that's kind of like, that's a lot, man. I honestly think, remember I said this, guys. Remember I said it so then you could say, well, yeah, Max did say it. If he get a considerable amount of time, next thing you know, guys, it's over. He just received a pardon. He gonna get a pardon. Remember I said it. Because that's one thing the president is against, certain things in this justice system. I honestly feel a pardon will come in if it's excessive. You said time served plus an additional 2 to 3 to 4 supervised release. Appeal may vacate everything to supervised release. That could be the case too. It could be he could get out with supervised release. Yeah, if he gets over 10 years, more than likely a pardon will come in. And actually, it'll come in that day. It'll come in later that day. You will see the president at the Oval Office signing, issuing the pardon, and he'll get out. Because over 10 years is excessive. It is. And also, the Mann Act should be abolished. Okay. So, speaking of the Mann Act, you know what the Mann Act is called? Y'all know what it's called? Let's unpack it a little bit. The Mann Act. It's called the White Fugitive Slave Act. Okay? The Mann Act of 1910 is officially called the White Slave Traffic Act. That's what he's being convicted on. He's being convicted on the White Slave Traffic Act, guys. The White Slave Traffic Act. It was passed by Congress and signed into law by President William Howard Taft. The act made it a felony to transport women or girls across state lines for the purpose of prostitution or debauchery or for any other moral purpose. Stop right there. No, 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 no. It was for the purpose of white women and white girls across state line for black men. That's why they put it in the law, because there was a fear that they were going to target white women and make them prostitutes. It was named after Congressman James Robert Mann of Illinois, who sponsored it. The term white slave traffic, the term white slavery was popular in the early 1900s, used to describe the panic over women, especially white women, being forced or tricked into prostitution. Reformers and journalists sensationalized stories of young women being kidnapped and sold into sex work by black men. In reality, some exploitation did occur, but much of the frenzy was moral panic, reflecting racial, gender, and class anxieties in the progressive era. The law was less about protecting women from kidnapping and more often used to prosecute consensual relationships that society disapproved of. When I say consensual relationships, they talk about interracial relationships. That's what it was targeting. Okay, so look, so if you're in a relationship, if you're in a consensual relationship, they say that it's really you're a pimp. You're really pimping her out and taking her across state lines. Even though you're in a relationship where you were never a pimp, but they labeled you as that because they didn't want you with her. And then you they had to pass a law to outlaw that. That's what this comes from. And that's what he's been charged with. Why some call it the White Fugitive Slave Act, the Mann Act has been informally compared to or nicknamed the White Fugitive Slave Act because, like the Fugitive Slave Acts from 1793 to 1850, it extended federal power over personal travel and morality. It was racially loaded, focusing on protecting white women and tied to racialized fear of interracial sex. Authorities often use it not to just prosecute traffickers, but to target black men in relationships with white women. The famous example, here we go, Jack Johnson, the first black heavyweight boxing champion. In 1913, he was convicted under the Mann Act for traveling with his white girlfriend. Even though the relationship was consensual, many saw it as racially motivated. Now, let me tell you what Jack Johnson and his girlfriend was doing at the time. They were protesting. She was like, "You're not going to tell grown people who relationships to be in." So they even though they were facing a lot of criticism, they also did it as protest. You're not going to tell me how to live. I'm a man. You're not going to tell me what bars to frequent. And let me tell you, when he was in New York City and all these racially segregated bars, they still let him come in. Come on in, champ. They still let him come in. This guy was like a Renaissance man. He was really before his time. Jack Johnson was really before his time, yo. He was flamboyant. He wore custom made suits, just like how the boxers act now. You know how the boxers wear their custom made suits and they're kind of like above life. They act like they're above life. That was from Jack Johnson. Okay. Did you know every time Jack Johnson won a fight, somebody got hung? Did you know that in the South? As soon as he won, they went and hung somebody. They call it a picnic. That's where the word picnic come from because it means pick a ninja. Go look it up. That's where the word picnic come from. We're going to go pick a ninja. Picnic. So the next time you say you about to go have a picnic, you'll never forget what I said. It means pick a ninja. Okay, and at the picnic, they used to have food around the picnic while strange fruit is hanging from a tree. What you think the strange fruit was? Huh? While they were hanging from a tree, they sit there and have food. Okay? So this is what's intertwined in some of these devils' DNA. Okay? I'm being real with you. They know it. They know it. I'm not talking about all of them. If you reform yourself, I'm not talking about you. But that's what, and guess what? Some of us are only 5 generations removed from it. Did you know that? It wasn't that long ago. It wasn't that long ago. Some of us only a couple generations removed from Jim Crow era. That wasn't that long ago. So Jack Johnson. Jack Johnson, he was self-taught. He was well-read. He was a very articulate man, and the women loved him. He was very articulate. Okay, and he was well-read, He's an intellectual. And he just would not allow them telling him how to live as a man. So fast forward after his heyday. Well, no, fast forward. He was on the run because they wanted to lock him up for this MannAct. So finally, his mom and stuff was sick, so he had to come back from Europe. He had to come back to the United States. And when he went to the prison, the warden at the time would not put handcuffs on him. He said, no, let him come in as a dignity as a man. I'm not putting handcuffs on him, and please do not lock his cell. He didn't do this. He ain't do nothing. That's what he did. He said we're going to give him the dignity as a man, and we're not going to lock him up. Even though he got to sit here and give us a little time, but it ain't going to be the time that he think. And finally, he got out. His career was never the same after this. And it took, guess who pardoned him? Guess who pardoned him after death? President Trump. It took President Trump to pardon him. How come the other presidents couldn't pardon him? Why did it take him to do it? Why? Because he was a boxing fan. He's also a boxing fan and historian. He's very deep into boxing. And he also said that years ago, back in the 80s and 90s, if he ever become president, he's going to pardon him. He said this. And that's why he did it. He pardoned Jack Johnson. So Jack Johnson is no longer on the books, but he was convicted of the MannAct. Jack Johnson. So I honestly believe that this law should be abolished. I believe the MannAct should be abolished. It should not be on the books. It's the White Slave Act. Just call it that. He was convicted on 2 counts of the White Slave Act. Diddy was. 2 counts. So that's what he got convicted of. It's still on the books. Now, however, is it being used for other purposes? Yes, it is. It is. But why can't they just take it off the books and write something else? Now, are there people out here that's guilty of the MannAct and they out here pimping and pandering? Yes, they are. And I believe they should go to jail. Yes, they are. So, but I think it should be rewritten and this should be abolished off the books. The MannAct has a history of racial problems. History. You said Trump could pardon Diddy tonight. I'm still not voting for him. You don't have to worry about voting for him no more. He's in his 2nd term. You can only run 2 terms as president. It's just that his terms are what you call staggered. It's only one other president that has a staggered term. That's Grover Cleveland. Grover Cleveland lost and came back and won again. He has 2 numbers just like Trump does. It's staggered. So he can't run anymore. So you don't have to worry about it. But I think this should be written. It should be abolished and rewritten. Now, would Epstein had been charged with this? Of course he would have, but he didn't make it. He didn't make it. He didn't make it. You said why no one of higher minds think of it. They do think of it. They don't want to take it off the books. They still have a problem with these relationships. They still do. You said you think Trump going to undermine this guy. You said did Trump pardon himself? He more than likely he did, but you would never know. It's called a ghost pardon. A president, we never actually have gone through this before, but a president could pardon himself and keep it until he needs it. It's called a ghost pardon. But we never actually had to entertain that before. That's what makes his term unique because we had to entertain certain things when he was president. Now, Nixon was the one that we called that got away because the reason why we say we could have entertained, actually, we did entertain this a little bit with Nixon's vice president. We kind of entertained these waters before, but we didn't entertain it with Nixon because Gerald Ford had pardoned him. You remember Gerald Ford had became president after Nixon. Gerald Ford is the only president that wasn't voted in by the people. Did you know that? He wasn't voted in by the people. He became president after Nixon. Because remember, Nixon and his vice president had to step down. Nixon was off the hook. I'm just telling y'all this. That man was off the hook. Did you know he had a goon squad? Nixon had a goon squad, a literal goon squad. I want you to get this book. You can get this for free. It's called All the President's Men. All the President's Men. It talked about the Nixon administration and what he did. Nixon was just straight off. He was equal opportunity hater. He didn't like nobody. He didn't like nobody. He didn't like the Jews. He didn't like the black. He didn't like nobody. You know, he was a Quaker. He was the first Quaker president. That's his religion. He was a Quaker. He didn't like nobody. Like, he didn't like Kissinger. Oh, he really didn't like Henry Kissinger. He had a beef with Kissinger. Yes, he did. He had a beef. But Diddy, though, getting back to this, I'm gonna close out on this. We don't know. We'll see what happens tomorrow. We'll see what happens tomorrow with Diddy. We'll see what happens tomorrow with Diddy. And we'll go from there, guys. But I just wanted to read this letter. I probably will come back with something else. But I just want to quickly read this letter. Guys, thank you for joining. I will see you tomorrow. Look for my live chats outside the courtroom tomorrow. All right, y'all. Peace.